Hey friends, I'm Paul. Welcome to Circular Motion. Hey everyone, how are you doing? I hope everyone is well. Actually, I'll just put that down there. It's been a funny couple of weeks. I managed to go see the great C16, which this isn't obviously a picture of. It's a picture of a microphone that he apparently used to record his last album. So I'm in York with my dad, front row centre seats. When I went online to buy the tickets, literally, I think because it was in lockdown, because I've had them for like, I don't know, 6 months now. Because we were in lockdown, nobody was really looking at it. So the tickets came on sale, went online, showed me a floor plan, select your seats, boom. Rude not to. And yeah, he was amazing. He played a few songs, spanning kind of like his career, told some stories. It was just him on stage with a chair and a guitar and some lights, well, several guitars, all just pieces of shit guitars that he makes sound so amazing. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing since we last spoke. I have got a couple of records to show you, and it's payday next week, so I hope to have a few more to show you. There's a couple of things I've got my eye on, and so yeah, particularly this David Bowie box set that's coming out, but that's like 316 odd quid or something mental like that. So I'm going to see what I can do. I've just put a few irons in the fire. If they kind of, get really hot, then I might be able to afford it. But anyway, records, that's what you're here for. So I've got just a few. 5 to go through. We're going to start with the worst, and we've got this, which is a band called Underneath What, and there's not a massive information about this band out there, and they were a bit of not even a one-hit wonder, they were a one album, not so wonderful. This is an original pressing, 1989 I think it is, and I think they just kind of came around at the wrong time, because shortly after, everything sort of started to ramp up towards the more indie alternative kind of scene, the grungy kind of thing, and yeah, they just died a death. They were quite derivative, they were a bit kind of like The Mission, but a little bit rockier. Not my cup of tea. It was only £5. It was a wildcard purchase, as you know. Regulars that come here will know that I like to make the wildcard purchases. I mean, it's nice enough, it sounds decent, but it's just dull. Sorry. Next, I saw this and it was a tenner, and it is an original 78 copy. And it came complete with like the little sort of insert and everything, and it's Patti Smith, obviously Easter. Now this is an album, and the only song I'm familiar with is Because the Night, and that is because of the Pat Benatar cover and the incredibly lackluster cover by the 80s hair metal band Keel. And I thought, yeah, I'll give that a go. It's supposed to be really good, and obviously it has a cover that ruined 1,000 socks. And yeah, I don't know, it's a bit hit and miss. It sounds really nice. It's got like a really raw kind of in your face kind of punky kind of like feel to it, but it's just, just didn't do anything for me. Because the Night is great, and the last track on the first side, which I'm gonna say Rock and Roll Ginger instead of what it actually is, because I don't want to get into trouble, and it's not a nice word to use anyway. And they're quite nice tracks. The rest of it, I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me, and I feel like I really should like it because it's a classic album, but anyway, yeah, I got this, and this was a tenner, and it's immaculate again. I've been really lucky with buying some second-hand records lately, and that luck continued with this bad boy. So obviously this is Jerry Rafferty's first solo album after he left Steelers Wheel. So this, from what I can see, is it's an original copy, but there's a couple of things that puzzle me about it. The label's slightly different to some of the labels that are listed on Discogs, and I can't seem to sort of find a combination of cover and label. So if anyone's got any information that they can help shed some light on, that would be really good. But it's a cracking album. I listened to it today while I'm at work. I'm still on my lunch. I thought, I'll just do this now. Yeah, recorded Chipping Morton Studios, which is a typically British sounding name. and it is really good. There's some, sound wise, it is really, really nice. You know, everything sounds nice and crisp. And again, I paid £5 for it. £5, and it's in immaculate condition, save for there's a tiny little imperfection actually in the vinyl. It's not a scratch, it's an actual little dip on city to city, which causes a little bit of a skip, which is unfortunate, which is maybe why it was £5. But other than that, it's in absolutely immaculate condition. And I only really bought it for Baker Street because that is one of my favourite tracks. That would be on like my Desert Island playlist if I could have 100 tracks. And yeah, the whole album, it kind of blew me away. It was a lot better than I expected. So yeah, if you get a chance to catch up with this album, give it a go. Really nice. I love the cover art too. I love the cover art. Many years ago, a friend of mine had a music shop here in Darlington, and I painted the interior for them, and I painted a picture not too dissimilar to that, but it was Joe Satriani. He was kind of flying with a guitar. Not as good as that though, not as good an artist as that. And we're on to the final two. So I said I'd always try and keep these brief going forward. So these two are new albums, and I got them from HMV. And this one is probably particularly poignant because sadly Mick Rock, who took that photo, he sadly passed away today at the grand old age of 72. And obviously you worked with him, he was Bowie's official photographer in the 70s. He photographed the cover for Queen too. He took a lot of other pictures of Queen and lots of other artists, and you know, he's one of those names that I kind of grew up with. And Malcolm Dome, who sadly passed away recently. You know, Kerrang was a big part of my teenage years, as I'm sure it was for some of you out there, and maybe it still is for some of you out there. Maybe some of you are still sort of buying it now, but yeah, sad news. You know, they all seem to be dropping like flies, all our heroes. But anyway, this album is an absolute belter. Again, it's an album that I took a chance on because I was only really familiar with Perfect Day and Walk on the Wild Side. I'm not really a massive Velvet Underground fan. Again, I'm probably speaking heresy and blasphemy to some of you, but some of it's alright. The band, I can kind of take some of it, leave a lot of it. But this album is phenomenal, and it sounds absolutely just brilliant. And this is a reissue. Obviously, it's an anniversary reissue. And the whole album, it just sounds so crisp and clear. It's like just the bass on Walk on the Wild Side, it just, you can hear the strings vibrating. It's that good, it's that clear. But it would be because it was mixed by Ken Scott, who obviously you all will hopefully know by now, produced my favourite album of all time, particularly David Bowie's Hunky Dory. It's an album that I've probably played the most, particularly in the last 12 months. So yeah, and it features Bowie as well, and Mick Ronson, who I did manage to see live before they both passed away back at their Freddie Mercury tribute gig in '92, I think it was, and they played All the Young Dudes, and Ian Hunt was on stage. So it was the kind of moment that I do treasure because it's obviously something that's never going to happen again, sadly. But yeah, you know, it's got quite a cast of characters on here, and yeah, if you get a chance, pick it up, give it a go. I'm going to see if I can get hold of an original copy of that, but I'm going to expect that they're going to be quite expensive. I haven't checked. And finally, this is probably my favourite Iggy Pop album, and again, it sounds really, really good. This is another reissue on 180 gram heavyweight vinyl, which doesn't mean anything really because, as we discussed in previous episodes, it doesn't matter whether it's thick or thin. Some thin albums sound really good and some really heavy albums sound really bad, so there's no real, you know, it's just another gimmick to justify charging ridiculous prices these days, I believe. But yeah, this is a great album. Again, Lust for Life is an absolutely cracking song. Neighbourhood Threat, which I didn't realise was an Iggy Pop song because, you know, it's on Bowie's Tonight album, and it is that version. It's brilliant. That's the version I heard first. But yeah, this is a great version too. And of course, Bowie does play on the album as well. and it was produced by the Bewley brothers, so obviously Barry produced it as well, and he recorded it for his good friend Iggy. So yeah, this is a 2017 reissue, and again, I think this was part of it was 2 for 30 or 2 for 40 at HMV, and so I got these two together. If you get a chance to pop in, have a look, and see what they've got. I'll definitely be doing that. I get paid a week today, so I can't wait. There's a couple of things I've got my eye on, and of course I'll share them with you as soon as we've got them. But that's kind of in terms of a final haul. Until I get some cash, that's it for now. So there'll be nothing until after next weekend. But in the meantime, if you've got any suggestions for things I should look out for when I do get paid, please hit me up in the comments. If you've enjoyed this, please hit the old like button, and if you're new, subscribe. If you're coming back, thank you for coming back again. It means a great deal to me. And in the meantime, stay safe. Oh no, one thing before I go, a couple of shout outs to a couple of people. People I've been sort of watching on YouTube, and people who have commented recently. So Stone and Stash Box and Flat Round and Spun, Mark Hesford at Crate Diggers of the World Unite, Female Metal Fan, and of course my good friend Stevie G. Thanks all for your recent interactions, and keep them coming, and take care everybody, and I'll see you soon.